Wow. Well, when it comes to the fight, I can't say that I see it a whole lot different. Lil Nog has shown a heck of a time having trouble keeping guys, stopping him from taking him down, and now he's going to face, quite honestly, the best guy he's ever seen at attempting to take down.
Yeah.
Mr. Wonderful is a physical freak. If you have not had an opportunity to see him, make sure you watch him step on the scales today. When he hits the pose, they call him the Bat. I don't even know where those lats are coming from. I'm jealous. It's like a cartoon written in. But at the end of the day, I just can't picture it. I think Mr. Wonderful's too much. There seems some things out there this week with some people hoping that he may even be able to challenge a John Jones down the road. Not if he doesn't improve his stand-up, by the way. Let me make that clear.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I think Mr. Wonderful has much too much here. I'm calling Mr. Wonderful probably by a 3-round decision. I sure hope JB's right, but I'm giving another punch over here from Mr. Wonderful.
Okay, there it is, guys. That's the UFC Fight Night 24. As you heard, another second punch to Phil Davis. So we're going the same way on our co-main event.
I gotta let her in, dude.
Very quick, let's just talk about UFC 129. Pat's got to run. I'll just go ahead and do the UFC 129 for you.
I think John Jones is knocking at the door. I'll be right back.
All right, UFC 129, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about GSP Jake Shields. GSP Jake Shields. Man, I just think the easy way here to go is GSP. That's the way I'm going to have to go. When you look at Jake Shields, you're looking at a fighter that's coming over from Strikeforce. A guy that, in my opinion, didn't do too much to wow the crowds when he's in the ring, but a guy that also, if he gets it to the ground and he gets it in his world, it's going to be a hard fight to win. Because you're talking about a guy, Jake Shields, he's a cardio freak. He works hard, always in shape, always ready to go. But, when you talk about GSP, you're talking about, in my opinion, the number 2 best fighter in the world. Okay, so, you're talking about a guy coming out of Greg Jackson's camp. It's just going to be too much for Jake Shields to handle. I think that Jake Shields' last fight against Martin Kampmann, I think it was suspect anyways. I kind of felt the fight was going to Kampmann's favor. Judges took it to Jake Shields. I think this is going to be an easy fight for GSP to just go ahead and handle and show that Strikeforce is kind of, that division was the minor leagues to UFC's division. Couple other exciting fights that we have to look forward to. Couture Machida on that card. Couture Machida got Couture still at the 205 division. Lyoto trying to bounce back from a loss to Rampage, which was still kind of some people see Lyoto won that fight. Some people say Rampage won that fight. But in the end, it was better than getting knocked out like he did against Shogun. So I think that fight's going to be exciting to watch. We got Aldo, we got Hamanik. I think that's also going to be another exciting fight. Seeing Jose Aldo in the ring, that guy's always exciting to watch. So a lot to look forward at UFC 129. Pita's back very quick, briefly. We're going to go ahead and throw out our top 5 fighters in the world. We're going to go ahead and give you guys what we think are our rankings on the top 5. So, P-Dub, if you want to throw out your number 1, man, who you got?
Well, you know what? When I made this list, I got to admit that it was difficult for me because I did picture in my mind, honestly, that Johnny Jones is probably the best pound-for-pound fighter.
Arguably, yes.
But I just can't do it at this point, as much as I want to. He just doesn't have the track record, and I just don't see that I could put him ahead of some of the other guys that are more established. So, at this point, to get to the shake here, I got the Spider. Anderson Silva at number 1 pound for pound. He finishes guys in impressive fashion. His striking is just a little bit more aggressive than George St. Pierre's, and that's why I went with Anderson.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. I'm going to go ahead and put Anderson Silva at the number 1 spot. I believe after that up kick we saw against Vitor Belfort, I don't know what else we can look forward to. Every time that boy's in the ring, a lot of people say that his fights are boring, this and that, but hey, like a Floyd Mayweather, it's like come hit him. Come hit him. If you guys want to complain, come put this guy out. And so far we haven't seen him in the UFC. So number 2, moving on, I think both we're going to agree here. Obviously, I think I'm having GSP, another guy that's obviously one of the world's best, arguably number 1 in the world, but I'm putting him at number 2 behind Anderson.
Definitely going to co-sign that. George St. Pierre, I don't really think there is an argument for it unless you wanted to argue that he should have been number 1.
Yeah, exactly. All right, number 3, who you got, man?
Well, I got no choice but to lean on my boy, Johnny Bones Jones. John, I just think, is the man at this point. I don't like to judge Anderson Silva in a sense as whether he should fight him because at the end of the day, John is a bigger man, and I can see that. It looks like Johnny may even be able to be a heavyweight 5 years down the road. Yeah. So it might not be a fight that would ever be fair to even judge Anderson on should they get in the ring, but the guy is on a meteoric rise. Watched the Leno show last night. Johnny did a great job on there, and I thought him and Kirstie Alley had some chemistry. Looks like something was going on there.
I think John can pull whatever tail he wants right now, man. That guy's on the up and up, and out of that Jackson camp, he's really hot. But I'm going to go ahead and disagree. It was hard for me. I thought about John at the number 3 spot. I ended up putting him at the 4 spot. I still gave the 3 spot to Jose Aldo. I think we're seeing a kid here at the 145 division that's just really unstoppable. You know, we saw him just straight destroy Uriah Faber 2 different times, send Uriah Faber down a different division. And now, you know, after this next fight, we're hoping to see him maybe coming up to the 155 division and give Frankie Edgar a little run. So I think I'm still going to give that spot to Jose Aldo. But number 4, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and agree with P-Dub here. I'm going to put it at John Jones, number 4. Talking about a guy that's just more of an athlete than anybody else out there. His brother is a wide receiver for Syracuse. His other brother plays professional football for the Baltimore Ravens. You're talking about a guy that just comes from just a family full of athletes. So I'm going to agree with you there. Put John Jones at number 4. So who you got at number 4, man?
You know, not to try to copy JB, but I got no choice. I mean, I had to get it to Jose Aldo, obviously, at number 4. I actually think that Aldo and Jones are probably the closest comparisons you could draw to each other.
Yeah.
Their styles are completely a mixed bag. You have no idea which way they're going to come from. It's just a it's like a Tasmanian devil of knees and elbows.
Yeah.
Aldo is just an impressive fighter. Right now, he's literally doing to the 145 division what Anderson Silva has done to the middleweight division.
And what a lot of 205ers are scared that John Jones is going to do to that division.
Certainly. My thing is, who can dominate Uriah Faber? And to this point, we've seen one man do that.
Right, exactly. Number 5, it was a hard thought for me, but I went ahead and put Frankie Edgar there. I think we've seen this guy go ahead and dominate too many guys at the 155 division.
He keeps surprising us every time.
Couple close fights with BJ Penn, or one close fight with BJ Penn, we should say. The other fight was Frankie Edgar got the best. Close fight with Gray Maynard.
Just a war with Gray Maynard.
You know, war, but I just believe that we've seen Frankie Edgar off the Ultimate Fighter show come off and just do too many things at the 155 division, and I'm going to go ahead and put this guy at the number 5.
Yeah, I don't really have any flaws for the argument. Again, I'm going to have to go with Frankie, too. He's just done a little bit too much. I had consideration for Cain Velasquez. I am impressed with how he's handled himself.
Dominic Cruz.
Beat some tough guys. Dominic Cruz as well. But at the end of the day, Frankie's beating the who's list. BJ Penn at 155. There was a period of time where just a couple years back, people thought there was no one that could beat him at 155. That it would be impossible to beat him at 155. He didn't just beat him; he handled him.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but he fights Gray Maynard, the only guy to put a nudge on his record. And after the first round, which really Frankie looked like a wet noodle. I thought it was a done deal.
Yeah.
Frankie just dominated for the next 4 rounds. So I'm going to have to co-sign essentially and finish up with Frankie Edgar as well at my number 5 spot. Which at that point, it really kind of takes us, I guess, to a couple of fights that we're looking forward to, upcoming events.
Well, yeah, I just talked about them, while you were out very quick. Talked about the GSP Jake Shields fight. Talked about the Aldo Hominick fight. Talked about Couture Machida.
Did you mention Daily Diaz?
Nah, did not.
That's the only thing I wanted to touch on.
No.
Gosh, is there a better trash talker than Paul Daly?
Talking about a guy that I think the first time anybody has seen in MMA take a loss on his record and really literally try to knock the guy out after the fight was over.
I mean, I tried to respect that, but I guess I really couldn't. There really wasn't any.
Fighting out of my hometown, England, too. It's like, I love you, Paul. I wanted to love you, but after that, man, I hate Josh Koscheck, too. Like, I don't even like the guy. But
Gosh, me either.
It was just a punk move, man. Punk move.
It was, but you know what, Paul? It seems like Paul has done some things at this point to kind of try to get himself back on the right track.
Yep.
And he's biting off a big piece in Diaz here. Diaz has excellent stand-up, and my fear for him in this fight is that he may get baited into thinking that he can stand up with Paul. Do you think he's going to get into that?
Yeah, I think you're looking at a 170-pound right there, a different Melvin Gillard. I think you're looking at a guy that's going to go ahead and throw punches from every angle. He's so athletic, and I think if Nick gets baited to standing up with him, I just think Paul Daly's going to get the best of him, and I think we're going to see Nick on the canvas.
I think you nailed it. I say if the fight stays up on the feet for whatever the reason, Paul Daly by knockout. If Mr. Diaz is a smart man and gets it down to the ground, then I can easily see Diaz winning by submission.
Flat out. Everybody, that's all we got today. Next show we're going to go ahead and bring the upcoming events. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Strikeforce, Paul Daly, Nick Diaz fight a little more in depth. And, hey, this is the 1-2 punch, everybody. Got Marquette, Sweet 16, coming at you.